So when I was a child growing up in Jamaica, if I wasn't inside the house, you'd find me outside in the almond tree or in the cherry tree in the backyard. I would spend hours in those trees, picking and eating fruit, reading my favorite book, hiding away from doing chores, eating more fruit, and making up songs. The very first song I wrote, my most stellar, I should add, went like this. My name is Kerry, and I am picking cherries. I'm gonna let those cherries stay until another day, another day, another day. I'm gonna let them stay. Needless to say, I found my true calling elsewhere. As I was preparing for this conference, though, it struck me that my very first song was about fruit. All I had to do was step outside into my backyard, and I was connected to the fruits and vegetables that nourished me. I didn't have to think about eating right. I just did. In the Bronx, where I've lived or worked for over 15 years, it's not as easy to connect to the fruits and vegetables we need to nourish us. In fact, in a borough filled with 1.4 million people and lots of concrete, it's downright hard. Most Bronx residents do not have backyards they can plant or farm in, and too many don't have access to fresh fruits and vegetables. The median household income is below $33,000, and the Bronx has the highest unemployment rate in New York State. Unable to access or afford basic fruits and vegetables, many Bronxites rely on cheaper, unhealthy fast food options. It's not surprising, then, that we have the highest obesity rate in New York City, and the result is that the Bronx ranks dead last in health outcomes in New York State. We and our children will die earlier than everyone else. And taking into account individual health behaviors, clinical care, social economic factors, and the physical environment, we have the worst quality of life overall. For me, this was hard to believe and accept because I love the Bronx dearly. I asked myself, what can I do to make fresh food access in the Bronx as easy as it was in my childhood? When I heard about the New York City Green Cart Program, I knew it was the answer. Green Carts are truly a New York City innovation. Created by Mayor Bloomberg in 2008 with support from the Laurie M. Tisch Illumination Fund, the New York City Green Cart Program established 1,000 green cart permits, 350 of them for the Bronx. Green carts are mobile food vending carts that only sell fruits and vegetables, but that's not all. Vendors in the program target the neighborhoods that most need them, highlighted here on the map, essentially bringing fruits and veggies right into our backyard. The organization I work for, the Women's Housing and Economic Development Corporation, was developing an award-winning green multifamily building in District 42, highlighted by the arrow, one of the designated high-needs neighborhoods in the South Bronx. Looking around, we realized that there was little or no food on nearby Southern Boulevard or anywhere else for area residents and workers. In short, a food desert. To prove the point, a food survey we conducted with the New York City Department of Health found only 58 establishments, mostly deli bodegas without fresh options, here shown by the red dots, serving the area's 39,000 people. That's 58 food establishments serving 39,000 people. Compare that with 250 food establishments serving the same size population on the Upper East Side. So we quickly went to work bringing the Green Cart Program to our community. We received funding from the Deutsche Bank Americas Foundation and training from CARP Resources, the New York City Green Cart Program's technical assistance and training consultant. So about 2 years in, what we found is that the green carts are helping to change the way people in the Bronx eat and helping them start businesses and earn income to support their families. Currently, there are over 200 green cart permit holders in the Bronx. For Bronxites, green carts make eating fresh and healthy, easy, affordable, and familiar, just like it was growing up in my backyard. Maybe now more people can now find a green cart on their way to the subway or the pharmacy, or church that's become a reality in the Bronx. Vendors charge a fraction of what bodegas are charging, and they can accept EBT cards from food stamp recipients. And the program works best when the fruits and veggies for sale are culturally appropriate. In a borough full of immigrants, that's a real selling point. So can you imagine my joy when Anna told me that she went to Hector's Green Cart for a healthy lunchtime snack every day? I'm sure you can. Besides better health, though, I was really awed by the fact that the Green Cart program offers Bronx residents the opportunity to become vendors themselves and earn much-needed income. From the business perspective, the program has few barriers to entry to vendors like Hector and the potential to bring in up to $40,000 per year. One, it's open to anyone. You can be from the Dominican Republic or Bangladesh, not speak any English, or even be an ex-offender. It doesn't matter. That's why more than 250 men and women interested in bringing fresh produce to their neighbors in the Bronx have attended our Green Cart workshops. And as mentioned, that makes it more culturally appropriate too. One vendor's business failed because he wasn't from the area and didn't speak Spanish well enough to engage his customers and assess their preferences. That was a big lesson learned for me. Secondly, green carts are low cost to start up, and they're low cost to run too. You need only about $4,000 to start a green cart business, much lower than the cost of opening up a storefront business. We link green cart vendors to microlenders like Project Enterprise so they can access favorable, flexible microloans to start. Other vendors like Fran save up money from a second job and ask family members to pitch in the rest. Given how accessible the Green Cart program is then, I should not have been surprised by the motivation of unemployed Fran, who came to us for help with permitting, armed with petitions from her neighbors. They were so eager to have her selling in their neighborhood. We're pleased to say that with our help, Fran and 10 other Green Cart entrepreneurs launched their Green Cart businesses, and 5 more are applying this January, and I understand that Bronx Green Machine is going to be applying too, which I'm excited about. These vendors are making it easier for hundreds of Bronxites to access fruits and vegetables closer to home and thus live more healthily each day. Still, I believe there is much untapped opportunity to bring even more fresh produce and more Green Cart vendors to the Bronx. My experience working on the ground with both vendors and community members in needy areas has given me some insight into how we can overcome the challenges that persist. Here is my idea for scaling up the Green Cart program to bring broader fresh food access to the Bronx's backyard. Make it hyper-local. I believe we need to work together to make the Green Cart program hyper-local by localizing the process, the logistics, and the purchasing. Firstly, we can localize the permitting process. Currently, interested Bronx residents must travel multiple times to Manhattan, and in Ahmed's case, even further afield to other boroughs to complete the steps in the Green Cart permitting process. This, as you can imagine, can be frustrating. We can save applicants valuable time and maintain their interest by equipping the local New York City Department of Health office in the Bronx to handle the local permitting process. Secondly, we should create more local cart storage options. It's hard to attract vendors to some high-needs areas in the Bronx because they have nowhere to store their carts at the end of the day. I convinced my organization to create a Green Cart storage space for 4 vendors in unused parking space in our green building. Now we have a waiting list of vendors interested in storing their cart there and vending locally too. Together, we can encourage other property owners and community groups to do the same. Thirdly, we should broker the creation of more local refrigeration options. Both vendors and their customers lose out when fruits and veggies are not maintained properly. To offset that, we've explored partnerships with an ice cream distributor and even bodegas in our neighborhood to connect vendors to cold storage space locally. Fourthly, we should support the formation of local clusters of vendors. Instead of shouldering the entire cost of purchasing produce individually or of transporting or storing their green carts, we can encourage vendors to locate in the same areas to form microenterprise clusters that allow them to share expenses, maximize economies of scale, and cut operating costs. Lastly, we should enable and even encourage vendors to source most of their produce locally from New York City or New York State farmers. It will help the environment, support the local and regional economy, and help money circulate closer to home. New York City's Green Cart program is already changing the way we eat in the Bronx. By taking steps to make the Green Cart program hyperlocal, as I've discussed, it will create fresh food access for those who are still unserved, improve Bronx residents' health and the local economy, create much-needed jobs, and make this food movement even more sustainable. For more on Green Carts, I invite you to watch the film you'll receive in your TEDx goodie bag, The Apple Pushers, courtesy of the Laurium Tisch Illumination Fund. Cheers to the Green Cart program for bringing fresh fruits and vegetables and renewed vitality to the Bronx's backyard. That's my idea. I thought it was worth sharing. Thank you.